the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports Plus Life. Sports Plus Life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin' no. Knuckle up or buckle up, I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or gossip go.
Sports Plus Life.
Yeah.
Sports Plus Life.
Ah.
Yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? Oh, I took a week off and now I'm back. I got a whole lot to say, man. So guess what? Turn it off. Let's turn it all the way off. I say cut, print. Well, not print yet, but just cut. Oh, man, took a week off, had a nice little week off, but please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And how is everybody doing this beautiful August the 22nd morning? Well, actually, just past the afternoon here in the Richmond, VA, or wherever you may be listening, my beautiful people. Yes, I did not do a podcast last week because I was just tired because that weekend was my son's birthday weekend, and we did a whole lot of stuff. We went to Surge, that's right off near Regency, on Friday on his birthday. Then went out to Fridays to eat. That's where he wanted to go. And then Saturday went to Pocahontas Park to take them swimming. And then Sunday was Watermelon Festival, and that was cool. And Monday I was like, yo, I just need to chill. So I just chill. Oh, actually, and Monday he had a doctor's appointment, actually. Had a doctor's appointment to get them old school shots, some old school vaccine shots, because he's going into middle school. But okay, be that as it may, we back. And we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. And before I get started, I would like to send my shout outs to any and everybody, particularly my black and gold fam and my fam in general, Randon and my cousin while working, my cousin Jordan and my aunt Lois. And it was good seeing them. Love them. But shout outs to everybody. And I hope everybody has a safe, wonderful, and blessed week as next week school starts. Next Monday will be the first day of school. I know, right? I mean, you see how fast summer goes by, especially when you start the school year a week earlier than what you usually do. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and go to the realm of sports. So, my people, are y'all ready? I'm ready. You ready? We all ready. Let's get to it. Now, we've had some breaking news, two different stories over the last couple of minutes, so I'll just address them quickly. First, the Carolina Panthers have named Baker Mayfield their starter for week 1. Okay, whoopee. Honestly, Baker and Darnold, Baker, I think, is better than Darnold. I thought they would give the job to Darnold just because they traded way more to get Sam Darnold than they did to get Baker Mayfield. But I do think Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback. And the Ravens have reportedly offered Lamar Jackson more money than Kyler Murray, but I think Lamar wants his contract to be fully guaranteed like Desean Watson. Isn't that crazy how the Cleveland Browns have now set the market? And speaking of Desean Watson, I will get to him in a minute as well. I'm going to quickly touch on this story that is, I guess, really hot right now involving Tom Brady, Dana White, Rob Gronkowski, and the Vegas Raiders. And by the way, Baltimore Ravens, pay that man whatever the hell he wants. Anyway, now last year, Tom Brady went on Lebron James' show, The Shop, which is actually a very entertaining show. And he was talking about something in free agency where in 2020 when he was a free agent, he didn't name any names, he didn't name drop, but he did say there was a organization that had shown interest but did not want him, and he kind of blasted them again. You know, Tom Brady is one of those guys who likes to leave you guessing because he doesn't name drop, which is probably a good thing. But this is what he had to say on The Shop.
There was a story in free agency. One of the teams, they were interested, and all of a sudden they weren't interested at the very end. I was sitting there thinking, You're sticking with that motherfucker? Are you serious?
Tom probably had no desire to go to that team, but now it's like, why don't you want me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I look back, I'm like, there's no fucking way I would have went to that team. But they said they didn't want me, and I know what that means. I know what that feels like, and I'm gonna fuck you up because of that.
Now, the only reason I think that this story is getting so much attention is because, one, even though we have NFL preseason, nobody's really playing anybody of significance for the most part, and it's still the dog days of summer. It's really just a content purpose for most of these outlets, for most media outlets, for most TV outlets. I really personally don't give a damn about it. I find it funny. But everybody assumed that he was talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers because after the 2019 season, when Tom Brady basically made it known that he was not going to come back to New England, they were thinking about, hey, he's probably going to go to maybe he should go to the 49ers. He's from there, grew up a 49ers fan, loved Joe Montana, and the 49ers had just come off a Super Bowl loss, but their quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo, and we all know the history between Brady, Belichick, and Garoppolo. But then, Saturday night at the UFC event, Dana White spilled the beans about what now is pretty much now known as what Brady was talking about a year ago, and the truth of this situation. And it was not the San Francisco 49ers. It was the Las Vegas Raiders, who I believe was being talked about because Dana White came out and said, I helped facilitate a deal that was going to land Brady and Rob Gronkowski in Las Vegas on Rob Gronkowski's podcast. Take a listen.
I worked to put that deal together for Brady and Gronk to come to the Raiders. And it was almost a done deal. And at the last minute, Gruden blew the deal up and said that he didn't want him. And all hell broke loose, man. It was crazy. And Brady was already looking at houses, and it wasn't being said yet that Gronk was coming. So Las Vegas would have had Brady and Gronk the year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, except Gruden blew the deal up. And there's so much story that goes along with this behind the scenes. And I was never going to tell that story till Gronk just said it, but yeah.
And Dana,
let me tell you what, Brady was
what
not
happened,
happy.
and you just told the story.
Anyway, I'm just being a fool. Okay, so I don't have any reason to not believe what Dana White was saying. And then that other voice that you heard saying that's exactly how it happened was Rob Gronkowski. So he validated the story for Dana White. And okay, so that was that. Brady could have become a Raider. John Gruden screwed it up. I have my reasons to believe why John Gruden said I don't want him. I think it's because John Gruden is an egomaniac. John Gruden is not just a head coach, he is a star. And I believe that if Brady had come there and let's say the Raiders would have won a Super Bowl, the more of the credit would have been given to Brady than Gruden. And I don't think he wanted it to play out like that. I think Gruden wanted to be the star of the Raiders potentially winning a championship. And of course, we know now Gruden is not with the Raiders for what happened, and we covered that last season. So now, like I said, for content purposes, for all of these outlets, channels, streaming, whatever, they're making a big deal out of this. Oh my God, I'm sure Raider fans are probably very angry right now. My uncle's a Raider fan. I haven't asked him. I guess. But I'm of the belief of that if Brady and Gronk had went to the Raiders, they wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. So, and also what Gronk said after he validated Dana White's story is that he's glad it didn't play out like that because, of course, that 2020 season, Brady went to Tampa. Gronk joined him in Tampa. They won a Super Bowl that year. I don't believe they win a Super Bowl if they're in Vegas. I really don't. The AFC was stacked. Of course, you beat Mahomes once, but you'd have had to play him twice in the regular season, and I don't believe you would have been getting through that. That's just my personal opinion. If you're a Raiders fan and you feel some type of way, you really shouldn't. When Tom Brady first announced that he was leaving New England, I'm going to pat myself on the back for this one. I made a video. I was working and I heard it on the radio. I literally stopped what I was doing. I was getting ready to deliver. I was in Fredericksburg. I was getting ready to deliver to a home. I said, let me make a quick little 30-second video because I know where fuck Brady is going. It's not that hard to figure out. Because I looked at the weapons. That's why I believe he didn't go to the Chargers. The Chargers also in the AFC West, and they had better weapons than the Raiders. They had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. You can look this up. I made a video and said before it was ever announced that Tom Brady was going to the Bucs, I said Tom Brady was going to go to the goddamn Bucs. Calvin said it 2 weeks ago when we were on the phone. He said, you told me Brady was going to the Bucs before it even happened. I said, yeah. I mean, because it's simple. You look at the weapons, you look at the division, it was an easier path to resistance. I'm not saying Tom Brady was trying to take the easiest path to resistance, even though that's what he had in New England for 20 years. But those weapons that they had, who did the Raiders have? They had Waller, you had Jacobs. Nobody knew what Hunter Renfrow was yet, So I don't, even if, like I said, Gruden screwing that up is, to me, classic because John Gruden wanted to be the star. So that's all the attention I'm going to give this because I don't really give a damn about it. I just found the interviews to be funny. I don't care about it because it didn't happen. It didn't happen, and this is 2 years old. Not like the situation that just happened with Miami, which Brady who gets no account of, who has to hold no accountability for this, and I still don't understand that he was working with the Dolphins since 2019, and while he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, this was a plan that Brady was clearly in on because of that's all that retirement was about. Now that, to me, is more newsworthy because that just happened. Literally, that just happened like 3 hours ago. That just happened. What happened with Tom Brady and the Raiders in 2020? Like I said, I just thought the interviews were funny. I don't give a fuck, personally. And it just goes to show, you heard what Tom Brady said on The Shop a year ago. Let me tell you something. Everybody got this perception of Tom Brady, OG golly, PC. Tom Brady's a dickhead, okay? Let me say that first and foremost. Behind the scenes version of Tom Brady, which is the real Tom Brady, is an absolute jackass. I ain't never met him, but I would put that on anything. Biatch. Because most of the all-time greats generally are. And I've said this a few times on this podcast. Tiger Woods. Many call him the greatest golfer ever. He's a dickhead behind the scenes. Serena Williams, and I love me some Serena. Good Lord, it's just the obsession with winning turns you to a jackass. I believe Serena is a very hard person to deal with. The late great Kobe Bryant. Y'all know how I love Kobe. We seen the practices. We seen the behind the scenes practices. Asshole. Michael Jordan. All the like Mike and Gatorade commercials and Nike and the Jumpman logo. Michael Jordan was a super asshole. Tom Brady, asshole. And like I said, difference with all those names I just named, because I believe Magic Johnson was probably, because he ultra competitive, was an asshole too. But when he smiled at you, the world just seemed right. And Kareem was probably like, yeah, I wish you would. But with all those names that I just named, the difference to me with Brady is that, yeah, he's a dickhead and he's also a cheater. That's just me. That's just my opinion. He's an asshole and he's a cheater. So, all right, I've addressed that situation. If anybody I talk to today decides to bring that up, sure, we can revisit it. But I'm moving on. Now, Desean Watson. The suspension that was initially 6 games has been moved up to 11 games after the appeal by the NFL. So that means that this long, drawn-out process as far as all of the cases, the lawsuits, everything, yada, 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 has now come to a close. And, of course, as I've been saying for months, whatever the outcome is going to be, eventually he's going to play football. Eventually he's going to get his $230 million in guaranteed money, and that's not going to sit well with everybody outside. I mean, with some people, it's not going to sit well outside of him never playing football again and or being in jail. But again, he was never criminally charged. 2 Texas grand juries could not find enough evidence to criminally charge him. And so initially, remember, Judge Sue L. Robinson, the independent arbitrator, gave him a 6-game suspension and no fine. Of course, Roger Goodell and the league appealed that. Now, I thought it would get significantly uglier because, and for press purposes, as far as let's just get this situation over with, I don't blame Roger Goodell with the decision that he made, because this could have been so much uglier from a legal standpoint. Because think about it. If Roger Goodell steps in and says, nope, I'm giving you a year, which a lot of people think that he should have done, then the NFLPA would have sued the NFL. They would have sued Roger Goodell and the NFL because this independent arbitrator was now in the collective bargaining agreement. So he would have usurped what's now been agreed upon for his own power. So the NFLPA would have sued the NFL and taken them to federal court. Then on top of that, you would have appealed whatever suspension that Roger Goodell handed down. If he had said a year, the NFLPA, their representation would have appealed Desean Watson's suspension, and Desean Watson, for all intents and purposes, would have been starting week 1 instead of week 12, which is going to end up being. Because during the appeals process, we remember what happened with Ezekiel Elliott. We remember what happened with Tom Brady. That appeals process takes a while. So Desean, for all intents and purposes, would have played the entire season this year, if not all, but at least most. So they came to an agreement, and after Desean Watson played in a preseason game last week and looked horrible, by the way, and Cleveland fans, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you're just going to have to throw away this season, because you may get some decent play out of Jacoby Brissett. When Desean Watson comes back, he's not going to immediately take you to the promised land, because you don't sit out a football for a year and 3 quarters and then come back and play lights out. It just don't work that way. But after that preseason game, he apologized to women that was affected by this case and I guess his actions. And throughout this whole process, he's maintained his innocence. I guess right after, it's funny because right after he said this apology, that's when this 11-game suspension came down. But now people are pissed off because of what his interview was right after the 11-game suspension was finalized and it was agreed upon, and you're sitting out 11 games. This is what he had to say.
I've always stood on my innocence and always said that I've never assaulted anyone or disrespected anyone, and I'm continuing to stand on that. But at the same time, I have to continue to push forward with my life and my career. And for us to be able to move forward, I have to be able to take steps and put pride to the side. And I'm going to continue to stand on my innocence and keep pushing forward. And I've always, stood on not disrespecting or sexual assaulting anyone.
What are you apologizing for then? What are you apologizing for?
For everyone that was affected about this situation. There was a lot of people that was triggered.
But not the women that accused you of this?
I've apologized to all women. So anybody that was affected, even yourself, everything. So I'm apologizing to everyone that was affected about this whole situation.
What is going to be your response to that when the world comes down on you for standing on your innocence throughout this process?
Well, I have to do what's best for Desean Watson at the end of the day. And I know what happened. I was in those situations, but I have to continue to push forward and keep moving forward. And, that's what.
Sue Robinson seems to believe the accounts that the NFL presented. In that hearing, she used words like egregious. How do you square what she wrote in her ruling, what she thought happened, with your belief in your innocence?
Yeah, I know who I am. I know what type of person I am. I know the character of person I was raised to be, and I've always been. So that's the biggest thing for me, is continue to show who Desean Watson really is, and the people that meet me and that's around me, they'll figure out who I really am too.
Missing 11 games with your new teammates, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's a tough situation, but at the end of the day, I have to continue to make sure that I'm around as much as possible as I can be, and just continue to put in the work and support the guys that's around, support this team. I know these guys are going to do very, very well. We're all professionals. We all here to do a job and to accomplish a goal, and that's win games. And I know the guys in that locker room are going to do that. Yeah, I'm moving on with my career, with my life, and I'm continuing to stand on my innocence. Just because settlements and things like that happen doesn't mean that a person is guilty for anything. I feel like a person has the opportunity to stand on his innocence and prove that, and we prove that on the legal side, and we just got to continue to push forward as an individual and as a person.
Now, of course, that was met with backlash, but this is one thing that I just don't understand about people and about society in general. And I'm not trying to be funny. And once again, I will say this for the umpteenth millionth time. I am not defending anything that Desean Watson may have or have not done. I'm not. I'm just being a grown-up about this, okay? I said this a couple of weeks ago. Well, I made a specific different video right after the suspension came down last week on YouTube. That if you come out and say that you're innocent, and you've maintained your innocence throughout this entire process, why is it people look for you to say something to incriminate yourself? And what I mean by that is saying he hasn't shown any remorse. He hasn't shown any contrition. He hasn't seemed like he's been humbled at all. And now, if it was me, the most I would have said was, if I made anybody feel uncomfortable in a situation, I definitely am sorry for that. But I haven't done anything. I don't feel like I've done anything criminally wrong. But I apologize if I made anybody uncomfortable. That's what I would have said. Because that doesn't mean that you're saying that you're guilty. But when people keep saying he hasn't shown remorse, even the judge said that. If I'm going to sit here and say that I'm innocent the whole time, then some bitch, why are you trying to get me to say something to make me look guilty? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, like, when he said that apology after the preseason game, everybody was like, see, now he's apologizing. Wonder why he's apologizing. And what he did was he set the record straight. He said, I was apologizing to all women that may have been affected by this. Basically saying, I was apologizing to the species of women. I ain't apologizing to them because I ain't do shit to them. That's the way I took it as him saying it. So now everybody wants to crush that and say, well, then that apology that he said to the other reporter was fake. Duh. I ain't trying to, duh. He's trying to get this segment of his life over with. Now, there is something that says that he has to do counseling and he has to he has to pass this counseling class. So it's not, not just, okay, 11 games suspended, sit at home, watch film, whatever. No, he does have some stuff he has to do. But when I say duh about the apology, I mean, he may honestly be saying, look, I'm apologizing for anybody that may have been affected by this. But if you maintain your innocence, any legal team is going to tell you to maintain your innocence and be quiet and let your lawyers do the rest of the talking. Because it's like, again, we are in a society of guilty until proven innocent. Now, do I believe that Desean Watson went out there and raped somebody? No, I do not. But do I believe he's squeaky clean, totally innocent? No, I don't. What does my cousin David call him? And I hope to have him on here in a few minutes. He calls him a habitual dick shower. That's what I believe he's guilty of. I believe he has done some inappropriate things as far as showing his man region to women, and it was totally unnecessary. What did I say on a YouTube video I did last week? Unfree your willy. Keep your dick in your pants. I mean, and for one, don't ever go out. And you're also guilty of being a dumbass, going out and getting 66 massage therapists on Instagram and stuff. Not all of them were licensed to be masseuses. So that's just kind of creepy. So you are guilty of that. Do I think that what he did should have landed him in jail? I mean, like I said, I don't believe he raped anybody, but I believe he was inappropriate. So me personally, as a football fan, and I guess I've created a platform for myself where, listen, if you want to, I'm just glad the thing is over with. 11 games, Browns, you're not going to the playoffs this season unless Jacoby Brissett plays lights out. And if he plays lights out come game 12, are you going to sit him for Desean? Because I'm going to tell you this, Desean ain't taking you nowhere this season. You cannot. That's my issue with preseason football now, that everybody, and this has nothing to do with Desean Watson, but everybody has gotten so scared to play your stars. The best way to get in shape to play sports is to go out there and play sports against other competition. But as far as that goes with Desean Watson, I'm just glad it's over with. But I'm pretty sure somebody's going to take Desean to the side and be like, okay, you made your statement, you've been standing on your innocence, and he said it with his chest. I stand on that. Now it's time, buddy, to shut the hell up. Be quiet. Don't give nobody else no more ammunition to come at you or come at the Cleveland Browns organization with. If I'm working for the Browns, that's exactly what I'm telling Desean. Okay, you made your point. Now shut the hell up. God damn! I mean, yeah. I mean, it's over with now. It's over with now. And he also got a record $5 million fine. $5 million fine to go along with this 11-game suspension. And the Browns also said that they're not playing him anymore the rest of this preseason, which I think is a mistake because, I mean, hell, after this last week of preseason that's coming up, he going to have damn near 3 months where he ain't doing nothing, where he's not going to be playing football. I would get him in as much work as possible. And what I also don't understand is why we haven't seen more Jacoby Brissett. Again, I'm pretty sure me and Tony are going to talk about this a little later. I don't understand the notion of preseason because now I'm going to segue into preseason football. It's been on, but I can't say that I've paid a boatload of attention to it because we've gotten so, when did teams get so scared of playing? And I'm going to say in particularly in football, because you don't see this with basketball, with baseball. When did teams get so scared of playing their best players in the preseason? And I don't want to sound like that old guy, but when I was growing up watching football, I'm being dead serious. I'm like, let me take the joking out of it. I'll say 10 years ago when Peyton Manning joined the Broncos. It was 10 years ago. Even then, in 2012, there was 4 preseason games then. Your dress rehearsal was your next to last preseason game, your third preseason game. That's when your starters would play pretty much a half. They would play the full first half. Now teams are so scared to do that. And me and Tony were talking on the phone yesterday. He believes that preseason eventually is going to be done away with. And I didn't disagree with anything he was saying, but if you're still looking at young guys who you may end up needing to depend on later in the season, if you want to see what they look like, they'll still have preseason. But when I saw Daniel Jones play multiple series, I wasn't mad. When I saw Jalen Hurts come out in their first preseason game, the Eagles' first preseason game, I wasn't mad, even though the Jets cornerback or safety took a cheap shot at him. But when I saw even Josh Allen against my Broncos a couple days ago, I'm not mad because you don't get in shape to play football by not playing against other competition. Why the hell do you think, and people wonder why, and I said this last season and the season before that, people wonder why the first 3-4 weeks of the season, you get sloppy play, you don't have any cohesiveness with your offense or your defense, or you'll see defense is way ahead of the offense because they don't get out and play. The coaches are afraid to play the players. That doesn't make any damn sense to me. So Sean McVay says, I'm not playing starters, okay? And he's had success, so that means everybody else is going to copycat him. What works for him doesn't work for you. 31 other teams, okay? Why do you think now that these players get hurt so quickly in the season? Muscle pulls that hinder them the entire season because they're not physically in shape to play the game because you're sitting them out, dumb fuckers. Okay. All right, now that I got that off my chest. I'm serious. But now I will transition to the NBA and just this whole Kevin Durant, Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James situations. They all tie in together. Now, as far as the whole Kevin Durant trade request or trade demand, whatever, can we put that to bed now? I'd like to think that the owner, Joe Tsai, was listening to me or listening to somebody when apparently he's not going to trade Kevin Durant. And these photos just leaked, just saw them this morning, of Kevin Durant and Kyrie practicing on, I believe it was Kevin Durant's IG page, because there were the rumors that KD and Kyrie weren't on the same page as well. But can we put that to bed? Okay? Kevin Durant is going to be a Brooklyn Net next year. And my thing is, I wouldn't have even made it that dramatic of a situation if I'm the Brooklyn Nets. Because, again, I support player empowerment, but I also am an advocate of keeping your word and honoring your contract. And with a new contract extension just getting ready to start this season, you want to be traded because you in a bad mood? Nah, bruh. Go on somewhere. And that's funny how the things that I was saying 2 months ago is now being said all over these sports platforms. I was saying you could go look it up when Kevin Durant first demanded a trade, and everybody was just like, oh, you have to trade him now. You have to trade him. And I was saying, no, you don't. What the hell? Since when? Kevin Durant signed a contract, a 4-year extension, nearly $200 million to remain with the Brooklyn Nets until, I believe, the end of the 2027 season. So I asked the question again. You have to trade who? What, because he has an attitude? Because he might make things uncomfortable in the locker room? My stance on that was grow a pair. I said that this whole offseason. Grow a pair. I don't give a damn if Kevin Durant wants to be traded and your new contract extension just starts this year, and because you having a bitch fit, you want to get traded? Nah, bruh. And I guarantee you that all of the other owners in the NBA, with maybe the exception of the Los Angeles Lakers, because I know we was trying to get Kyrie Irving, but I'm guarantee you all the other owners were saying, please don't do this. Do not give in to these demands. And Kyrie signed on. He's on, this was a player option year, so he's on a 1-year deal. Why bring in LeBron James is because last week he signed a 2-year extension worth, $97 million or whatever. Okay, get your money, Bron. You're a billionaire. Billionaires don't become billionaires by turning down money. But of course, all of the other sports heads want to immediately say, oh, LeBron, because when he was first eligible to sign this extension, he didn't do it. So everybody was making a big deal. Oh, is this going to be LeBron's last year as a Laker? And I've been saying about this the whole time. He don't want to leave LA. He don't want to leave LA. Golden State don't need him. He don't want to go to Sacramento. And the Clippers don't need him either. He's not leaving the Lakers. He's not going to LeBron might go back to Cleveland. No, he ain't. No, he's not. He's not going back to Cleveland. But as soon as he signed that 2-year extension, oh, here we go. We know that there's a Kyrie trade in the works. Kyrie is going to end up being a Laker. No, he's not. Connect the dots, dum-dums. Okay, Kyrie is not going to be a Laker this year. Kyrie will probably be a Laker next year. Because, again, nobody wants to trade for Russell Westbrook. You guys remember this? Well, we'd love to take Kyrie Irving off your hands, Mr. Sean Marks. So let's see what we can get done. Now, we can start off by trading you Russell Westbrook. Hello? Yeah, y'all remember that, right? Well, I wasn't joking about that. I mean, Russell Westbrook he opted in, obviously, for his 1-year player option, $47 million. He'll be a free agent at the end of this coming up season. Kyrie Irving will be a free agent at the end of this season. So while everybody is just trying to be so desperate for Kyrie to get to LA this season, it's not gonna happen. Nick Wright, you can tuck your chest back in because all of the dreams that you had of Kyrie being a Laker for the 2022-23 season ain't gonna happen. It's done. Shannon Sharp, my guy, it ain't gonna happen. Kyrie won't be a Laker this coming up season. He'll be a Laker next season for the 2023-2024 season. And again, if I'm Joe Tsai, I wouldn't have drug it out like this. I mean, I'm being real with you. I would have made that shit. You see how when Kareem Hunt, this was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Kareem Hunt demanded a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns said no. It's simple. It wasn't all drawn out. We'll try to accommodate. No, they said no. Not going to happen. I mean, if I'm Joe Tsai, I'm making a joke out of it. Kevin Durant say what? Kevin Durant said he wants to be traded. Oh man, all these athletes. That boy, that KD, he's such a kidder. No, really, I want to be traded. Boy, these athletes. Yeah, we just signed an extension last summer. He's just joking. What a kidder. These athletes. What can you do with them? No, I really want to be traded. Oh, you do? No. That's it. No. That's simple. Beginning, middle, and end. No. See you in training camp. And what I said a couple of months ago is now what some people are saying. I'm not trying to make it seem like I was first to the party, because let me make this clear. I don't have any resources. I don't have any insiders. I don't have any inside information. I'm just using common sense. Now, I said this when the trade demand first happened. I said if I was the owner, I would tell KD, look, I ain't seen you, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons on the court. Let me see that for a year, and if it don't work out, then I'll trade you wherever you want to go. See, that's what people are saying now. My stance on that has changed because we met up in London, and you want to try to strong-arm me and say it's either them or me. You're going to give me an ultimatum. Either I get rid of Steve Nash and Sean Marks, or I'm getting rid of you. Bruh, the petty part of me would have came out. Like now you want to try to flex your nuts and try to tell me how to run my squad when at the bottom of each check that everybody cash in this organization has got my name on it. Oh, no. Not only am I not trading you, since you want to try and give me an ultimatum, I don't care how this season looks. I'm not trading you. So you can sit out if you want to. So do whatever. That's just me. That's just how I would have handled it. Because again, I am a fan of player empowerment, but I am a fan of honoring your contract. Your word is your bond. And no matter what you say about LeBron James being the face of player empowerment, LeBron James has never demanded to be traded. He has honored every contract that he has played under his entire career. So you look at Ben Simmons and you look at James Harden and now Kevin Durant, even though Kevin Durant ain't getting traded no damn where. That's a bad look. Anthony Davis, that's a bad look. So can we put that to bed? Can we put the notion of Kevin Durant getting traded from Brooklyn, at least for this season? We can put that to bed. The Kyrie Irving to the Lakers things, we can put that to bed. Oh, LeBron signed the 2-year extension because they're about to get Kyrie Irving. Not this season, next season. Okay? For real. And now I got him on the phone. I'm heading back over to the Desean Watson topic. We're going to sit again at the Desean Watson table, and I got Cuttin' David. What up, Cuttin' David?
Hey, what's going on?
When Cuttin' David is on, what time is it?
It's time to have a philosophical debate. Nah, I'm just playing. It's time to get ignorant.
Well, dude, you have been my lead voice in the Desean Watson topic. What is he again?
The habitual goddamn monkey balls and ass shower. Yeah, I'm waiting on my copyright to get back to my original phrase. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put copyright on it, so whenever somebody say it, I'm going to get paid.
The habitual dick shower. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey,
so,
be $20 for that.
So, now we know, we found out last week that it is going to be 11-game suspension. We remember when it was the judge gave a 6-game suspension, but she was an independent arbitrator. And she gave the 6-game suspension. She said in her statement that she believed that he did it, but also trashed the NFL for their lack of precedence when it comes to situations like this. So Roger Goodell, of course, appeals, but instead of going through that whole lengthy process, which I thought was going to happen, where the Players Association was going to sue the NFL, because that's basically like breach of contract, Roger Goodell taking the power back when they had collectively bargained and agreed on having an independent arbitrator for these situations. They came to an agreement of 11 games, $5 million fine, and people are still unsatisfied because of then the interview he gave right after the suspension was handed down. How do you feel about this, sir?
Look. We've been talking about it. We go back and forth about it all the time. I'm still holding that there's still a good possibility they're just gonna go ahead and give him a year.
Oh no! That's done with. That's done with now.
All right.
Everybody's agreed. The Players Association and the NFL have agreed. Desean Watson has agreed. It's 11 games. He'll be back week 12.
Week 12. Who they playing?
Actually, the Texans.
Huh.
They play his old team.
Look, if everybody's in agreement and this is finally done and over with, all the ink is dried on the paper, then it's over and done with. Period. Let's let it be. Let's let him do his time. And it's over.
Now, like I said, again, the backlash has come from that interview where people are still left unsatisfied. And we've said this the entire time. Whether we believe Desean Watson is guilty or not, and I don't think he raped nobody, I just think he showed his dick to too many people, like you said. Habitual dick show.
Yeah, he's a dick shower. That's the only thing he should be guilty of. I mean, stop showing your dick to everybody.
And being a dumbass for getting 66 different masseuses off of Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram ain't for everybody.
No,
Instagram ain't for everybody. Just because it says that you can send in $25 and you can get back $2,500, don't believe that shit.
Man, bro, let me tell you something. If I'm a Cleveland Brown teammate of his, and he comes to me in practice and says, hey, look at this picture I posted on IG. It's two reactions I'm having. No, you didn't. One reaction A is, no, you didn't. No, I didn't what? No, you didn't post anything on Instagram. No, you didn't. And reaction 2, I just say, hey, bro, let me see your phone, and smash that bitch.
Smash it, yeah. You don't need to be on social media because it's not your friend.
No, it's not.
Not your friend. He don't need to have a phone. He needs to have all of his reactions or whatever. He don't need to be having a like button around him, period. Like anything. He needs to stop liking shit. Liking shit is probably what got him into trouble in the first fucking place. Stop liking everything. Don't like anything. If he go over one of his homeboy house and be like, hey, you like that macaroni and cheese? Be like, I'm going to plead the fifth on that. I don't even like that shit. Nah, be like, nah, bro, I think it was all right. That's what he needed. He needed to have an all right button. That's what he had. It's all right. It's cool.
He did, nigga just need to have an I guess button.
Mm-hmm.
Just send the GIF pictures of just shrugging shoulders. I guess.
It was cool. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. I've had better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't get in trouble for I've had better.
I know that's right. Exactly. But see, if you say I've had better, then people will get offended by that.
Well, if he's had better, but at the same time, he can't get in no legal trouble for I've had better.
That's true. That's true. That is true. That is true. But
Yes,
so what do you think of his statement when he says he continues to stand on his innocence?
Do what?
What do you think of his statements of him saying that he continues to stand on his and maintain his innocence?
He can. Was he found innocent?
Well, he was. There was not enough evidence to criminally charge him.
Then there it is. He innocent. If it ain't enough evidence to show that he was guilty, then it's not a mistrial, but it's like a to be continued until we get some more stuff to lock your dumb ass up and say that you're guilty. So again, in America, we stand on those truths to say, all right, you either guilty or you innocent until proven guilty. Right now, there's not enough to say that he's guilty or innocent. Right now, it's just you good for right now, bro.
But see,
you good.
You're right as far as the principles in this country of what we're supposed to stand on, and I'm not going to get started on that because that's a whole nother topic because the laws only apply to certain people. But in Joe Public's eyes, we do everything as guilty until proven innocent. Now, I want your opinion on this, D.
Good.
What people in the public were getting so angry about was they said he hasn't shown any remorse. He has shown no remorse, no contrition. He hasn't been humbled at all. My thing is, if you are going to sit here and claim that you're innocent the entire time, now 24 different cases is 24 different cases. Not everybody's lying. Again, I don't believe that he raped anybody, but I do believe he was inappropriate. He made people feel uncomfortable. But my thing is, what Joe Public doesn't understand, if two federal juries didn't find enough evidence to criminally convict you, why are you trying to get this person to incriminate himself by saying something that would make him look guilty?
Make him look guilty, correct. So if it was not a precedent, like in NFL, if there's nothing to try him on, then he ain't guilty. No evidence.
Well, see, this is where I kind of disagree. I don't believe that doesn't make him guilty. I just believe it's not enough evidence. It ain't a what you know, it's who you know almost.
That too. Yeah, that more than strongly. Yeah. Right now,
I believe he could have been arrested for indecent exposure. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, there you go. If anything, he should have been tried for that.
Right.
That'd have been the strongest case against him, was indecent exposure. They tried him for the wrong thing.
Right. Now, I've had Calvin on here. Now, Calvin doesn't believe he's done none of it. He believes total conspiracy against him.
All right. Well, tell Calvin I said, what's up? One, I ain't talked to Calvin in a while. And two, you're wrong. Like you said, it's 20-something people. 20-something people. They not all telling the same story, but somewhere in the whole story of it all, some things line up. And again, then some things that we don't even know are fact or fiction. One fact remains true. The motherfucker showed his dick 20-something times. He was inappropriate 20-something times. Now, we can't say nothing else that he did that. Me or you, I know we weren't rolling with him at the time, but we could say within a shadow of a doubt, 26 times, that motherfucker was in a position to be like, he had his junk out at some point, 26 times. Without even warning, without cue, somebody hit a button, like hit that like button, ta-da, bam, check out. Without warning, without fail, it happened.
Hey, you fucking stupid.
So without fail, 26 people they're gonna tell they different versions of it. That happened. The background was different. The time of day or night was different. Whatever he was wearing, cologne, whether he had a hat on, he could have had a Dallas Cowboy jersey on. He could have had that jersey on. But one thing remained the same. Before it was all said and done, that nigga had his dick out. I bet you that fact was not left out in those stories.
Oh man.
She could have been a circus midget. She could have been riding an elephant through downtown New Jersey. But one thing remains the same. Desean Watson. Deshaun Cleophas Watson. At some point, or whatever activity was going on, he might have been in his mama's basement cooking up green eggs and ham.
What did you say his middle name was?
Yeah, I don't know what his middle name is. I told him Cleophas. Cleophas. That's a dumb nigga middle name. Had his dick out. In his mama basement making green eggs and ham.
Oh shit.
His dick out. He had it out. And that is one fact that we know for sure.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, charge-wise, they charged him. They brought him up on the wrong thing. Like you said, indecent exposure. That's what they should have charged him on. Improper touching, yes, but is that something really what we're against right now? I'll go with Calvin on that. It's conspiracy, maybe. But like we had talked about on an earlier podcast, why didn't they do it to Roethlisberger? And Roethlisberger, oh my God, he's white R. Kelly. R. Kelly. White R. Kelly. He don't even bother checking ID. You want a beer? 12. I'm 12. So do you want a hard cider? Hey, they ain't bother with him like that.
Hey, hold up. In all seriousness. Oh, snap, hold on. In all seriousness.
Yeah.
Daniel Snyder, another one. But I don't know if you heard about this situation, D. This was like a couple weeks ago. In Philadelphia, they were celebrating the 1980s Phillies World Series championship. And Pete Rose was a part of that team. And Pete Rose, apparently some story had came out about Pete Rose, I guess 55 years ago, had sex, when he was like 25, 26, had sex with a 15 or 16-year-old. And a reporter asked, well, what about this claim that you had sex with an underage minor. You know what he said? He said, it was 55 years ago, babe. He said, nobody cares about what happened 55 years ago.
Okay, so back to what we said about is there enough evidence? Can we prove that he did it 55 years ago? Or even if they did, why didn't somebody stop him then?
But what I'm saying is, do you think that's gotten the public? Do you think that that's gotten the public outrage that Bill Cosby doing something 55 years ago did? You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. Oh goodness, let me choose my words carefully on this one. Yeah, it should have. 55 years ago, they was mad at Cosby. 50-some years ago, on the Cosby Show. They mad at Cosby still today. Really? Yeah. I mean, perception being what it is. Goodness gracious. Just the way that he carried that question, kind of gangster. Honestly and truly. Kind of gangster. He didn't confirm or deny it. He didn't confirm nor deny it. That's kind of a G way to go about it, really.
To me, it's kind of a privileged, entitled way to go about it.
Yeah, kind of what? Again, like, hey, look, why didn't you do nothing about it 55 years ago?
And in all actuality, basically what Pete Rose said was, yeah, so.
Right.
I mean, for real, in a nutshell. Because he didn't say he didn't do it. He said it was 55 years ago. He said nobody cares about what happened 55 years ago. So lack of a better phrase, basically what he said is, yeah, so what you gonna do about it?
Right. It was like, only person who probably cares about it was the girl that I may or may not have done that to.
I mean, like I said, we pick and we choose who we go after. That's all I'm gonna say. We pick and we now. As far as I'm concerned, Desean Watson got off lucky because I thought it was at least gonna get a season.
Yeah.
He got off lucky. He has a record $5 million fine, but he still got he got $225 million more guaranteed to come his way. I think he'll be fine. But what I'm saying is,
if he learned a lesson, I think that's the better part of this.
Well, he does have to do counseling. He does have to in order for him to be able to come out and play after these 11 games, he has to have passed this counseling class.
Hopefully, is it good counseling? It's not counseling where, like, he knows his ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Is it actually good counseling?
I mean, and what are we learning today, Sean? Today, Desean, I will keep my willy in my pants. Right. I will unfree my willy. Very good, right. Desean. Very good.
Right. If it's good counseling, he learns something from it. Fine. If he's just doing counseling just as, like, the NFL mandates that he goes to these classes and he sits there and somebody talks at him.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I think it's going to be.
Right. And then after the 11 games, then somebody signs on the paper, Desean Watson is cured. And then after the season, 2 more cases pop up.
I pray to God not. I swear I pray to God not. Well, remember, he does have to be, the only masseuse that he can have has to be team, affiliated with the team.
Okay, fair enough.
Again, if I'm his teammate and he even mentions Instagram, either two things I'm saying, I'm going to completely say, oh, no, you didn't. Or I'm going to tell him, let me see your phone, bro. Oh, let me see that picture, and smash his phone.
Right.
Not like he can't go out and get another one, but it's just, you get the point. I'll be like, nigga, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Right. Like,
Instagram is not your friend.
It's not your friend, bro. It's getting you into trouble. It's getting you into trouble. And you falling for it every single time. You gonna fall for it. You will pass it over to your homeboy, be like, oh man, that booty's bad, bro. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and like her pic, see if she wanna come over to the crib. No, you're not. That's your problem right there. Social media is too social for you. You too sociable a person. Stop that.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm with that too. As far as
And no dick pics either. No dick pics.
no dick pics. They need to go through. Well, somebody need his lawyer, I guess.
No Brett Favre incidents. No.
Yeah, no, I don't see his teammates going to his phone and deleting dick pics. I don't think they that cool with him yet. He ain't really done nothing to earn their trust. So, I'm not going to your phone and deleting your old dick pics, your archive dick pics. I kept these ones for a rainy day. I call this my goal line deed. No. They not that cool with him yet. You know?
You call his what?
As they call that my goal line deed. I don't see them doing that for him. His lawyer need to go through his phone and delete anything out his phone that's gonna get his dumb ass into trouble again.
Hey, bro, I hate you right now.
His lawyer need to go through and delete anything that's gonna get him in the job more trouble.
This nigga said the goal line D. Oh, he got me over here crying laughing.
They need to go ahead and do that. Because that right there, yeah, that's going to get him in more trouble. Anything archived in his phone from phones previous, that would get him in trouble. They need to come out his phone.
Dick pics from when he was at Clemson.
The Texas, whatever, high school, middle school, whatever. Need to come out. Need to come out. I feel like he might learn something, but at the same time, I feel like it's only a matter of time.
I hope you're wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope you are absolutely wrong about that. I hope that at least somebody, if he hasn't learned his lesson, I hope that somebody who in his circle is man enough or woman enough. Like, where is mama at, man? Like, for real.
Look, I ain't gonna talk about the man mama.
No, I'm not talking bad about his mama, but I hope somebody in his circle just says, bruh, stop. Right. And it says, bruh, okay, you got off, okay, this chapter of your life is over. Please don't rinse and repeat. That's all I'm saying.
I think. But again, I hate to keep kicking an ugly horse while it's down, but Roethlisberger 2 seasons in a row did the same shit. 2 seasons in a row. That can't be a coincidence. It can't be. It's the same exact shit.
Well, maybe Desean Watson needs to get married, man. He does something.
Yeah, but I feel like he'd be cheating on her with Facebook.
Oh, Lord. Not just the chick off of Facebook. He said he's going to be cheating on her with the whole damn app. What kind of shit is
All of Facebook. He just going to be sending out, like, he'll have like 10 different profiles. If you see Sean Watson be the first football player on Facebook to catfish motherfucker.
Oh, that reminds me. Oh, I meant to talk about this.
Sean Watson catfishing business with goddamn dick pics.
I meant to talk about this earlier before I even got on the phone. You remember, it's been 10 years. Well, I can talk about it now. It's been 10 years since the Manti Te'o catfish, right?
I was watching the Netflix documentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruh, yes. And for those who don't know, who don't even remember this story, 10 years ago, Manti Te'o was a linebacker who played for Notre Dame, and he was catfished. This girl.
Was he the one who did the catfish?
No. See, this girl. It was a quote unquote his girlfriend named Lene Kakua was actually a man named Renai. Shut the fuck up.
With a name like that, you just know that's okay.
His name was the man who actually did it. His name was Renaya Tuiasosopo. So the documentary is on Netflix. It's called Untold. This was a huge national story 10 years ago because Notre Dame had this magical season. They ended up going to the national championship game. And what happened was, this was supposedly his girlfriend since 2009. Now, the shit hit the fan in 2012, early 2013. The documentary is crazy. I felt so bad for him because the lengths that this person went through to pull this shit off.
Right.
was amazing.
Because this was like they studied this man.
I mean, literally.
Head and everything.
Literally. And it's messed up because, for one, the only thing that I fault Manti Te'o of is like, okay, you've been in this long-distance relationship with this chick since 2009, and you haven't seen her in person not once?
Not a one time.
That's the only thing I would question. And the actual photos of the chick, she didn't, the actual person, she didn't know.
Get out of here.
She didn't know that this dude Tuiasa Sopo was using her photo in a catfishing scheme. She had no idea that her picture was being used in a catfishing scheme. And the list that this guy went to, first of all, he should have been a voice actor for Disney because he made his voice sound exactly like a woman. And you heard these voice messages where you're like, I love you, babe, and da-da-da-da-da-da. But then, I guess, but what made me mad about, because I'm going to be honest with you, now this guy, Tuiasa Sopo, who was a football player himself, wants to be a woman. He's transitioning to be a woman. I don't care and now this is just me personally, I would still find him and whoop his ass.
Yeah, you did put a breath through all that.
He ruined his life because this story, Manti Te'o became he went from a national hero to a national embarrassment.
Yeah.
And because your punk ass want to be a girl, and what made me mad through the documentary was how he kept trying to make little justification points for what he did. He's like, in a weird way, my message got across to stay humble. No, in a weird way, you're just weird.
That's it.
And he took some, I had no control over it. I didn't have any control over it at this point. Yes, you did. You know why you had control over it? Because you never saw each other physically. He never saw his quote-unquote girlfriend physically. So if you just stopped talking to him, or if you just been an adult about it and said, my bad, bro, I've been playing you this whole time, before it hit the national media, before Deadspin found it and leaked the story. Because the part that got me is that, remember how she said, the dude Tuiasa Sopo said that he told Manti that his girlfriend died on the same day as his grandmother.
Right.
And then, so that was the whole story of the whole 2012 college football season. I remember this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And after one of the games, the guy who was doing the catfishing was at one of the Notre Dame's games and posing as her brother. And I don't mean to laugh, but then he had his little niece. His little niece was in on it too. Like
he made it a family affair.
Yeah, he gave her a teddy bear, and the little girl handed it to Manti Te'o and said, "This was Auntie Lene's favorite teddy bear." No, that ain't no damn Auntie Lene. You a little, like, you put a little child in on this. You's a bitch. Excuse my language. But man, I'm sorry. 10 years, and good for Manti Te'o that he could say that he forgive him, because that has to be a cultural thing, D. Because if that was one of us, somebody from our people, and we had the resources that Manti Te'o had, because he still played in the NFL for 7 years.
He did.
That motherfucker would have still, that motherfucker Tuiasa Sopo would have still got his ass beat.
Oh, yeah.
And with those type of resources, and I guarantee you, if it had leaked out the Tuiasa Sopo, man, I just wish somebody would just drive up to him and have a plastic bottle filled with piss and just throw it at his head. I'm serious. And even if that leaked out, Joe Public would be like, "Oh, well, he kind of earned that one. We can't really blame him for that." This man Manti Te'o was a national embarrassment, bruh.
Yeah, he went from like 100 back to 0.
Yeah. I mean,
if it wasn't for that Netflix documentary, like, nobody of this era would have known who Manti Te'o was, bro.
No, well, yeah, at least would have known the story, because I think the last time he played for the Saints was like 2018. But I mean, nobody would have known, because whenever I hear the name Manti Te'o, the first thing I think about is catfishing.
Catfish, yeah. That's really when Catfish, with his story, that's when catfishing was big.
That's when it was really first introduced to the public.
Right. Wasn't nobody thinking about catfishing somebody or whatever. It was him.
Tuiasa Sopo would have been swimming with the damn catfishes, fucking with me. That's him. I mean, the length. He played the role of her being in the hospital with a breathing machine on, saying, Manti, bro. Like, you went through every and even the girl whose face was on the profile. When he then says, "Oh, I'm not dead. I'm all right." What kind of shit? And he got her to send a picture. The dude Tuiasa Sopo got in contact with the actual girl to send a picture with the date and the Samoan symbol. I'm like, you bastard. Like, honestly, because I'm trying not to laugh at all of this too, because you know how our sense of humor is. We find shit like that funny, but it's wrong too though. Like, the first Eagles game I went to was in 2013 against the San Diego Chargers. That was Manti Te'o's rookie year. I had a post on there that had a catfish reference to it. I feel so bad. Well, no, I don't feel that bad for it, but it was wrong. I'm just saying. Now that I seen the story, because I did. I had a catfish. I had a poster. I spelled out CBS because the game was on CBS, and for the C, I put catfish. And when you take those posters into a stadium, the team security is going to look at it to make sure it's appropriate, and everybody who looked at it just put their head down and just busted out laughing.
Right. Because that's what it was back there, man. Like, he was really made to ridicule.
Yeah, man.
He wasn't. And even back then, I don't remember much about his playing back then with San Diego. He had some high games.
Well, I mean, he said that after the whole, everything had come out, that he had, like, for the next 3 years, like his first 3 seasons in the NFL, like, he had no confidence whatsoever. I mean, you can imagine what he was hearing on the football field, bro.
Right.
Imagine this shit. I mean, he had already become a meme. Like, I remember one meme, he was walking when he first got drafted to San Diego. It was a meme of him with his arm around nobody, saying, okay, I got drafted to San Diego, we're going to move to San Diego. And it was an arm, but nobody was there.
You're right. It's not funny, but it's funny at the same time.
I mean, for real.
10 years since that happened, huh?
Yeah, man. And you know what? When that first happened, it made me think about something that I was a part of, and I'm going to say this shamefully. Back in 2008, I don't know if I ever told you this, D. In 2008, one of my friends, female friends, who I will not name drop, she had an issue with another female that I did not know at all, and she knew because I was an actor and I could impersonate voices. Would I speak to this female who she had a problem with posing as another guy? And this other guy, just like the Manti Te'o thing, there was a whole nother profile with this guy's picture. And I carried on about 3 or 4 different conversations with this girl until eventually I told my friend, I said, man, I can't do this no more, man. I said, I don't know what she did to you personally, but I said, this is wrong, man. I'm serious. And y'all, you know me, I'm a prankster to the end. But this girl's feelings was getting involved.
Yeah.
Like, this girl was she's thinking she's talking to some light-skinned dude with long braids. I had braids at the time, and I was a lot smaller, but I was not the guy on this picture.
Right.
And each conversation, this chick's feelings was getting involved. And then on top of that, like, every conversation was 3-way. The chick who put me up to this was on the phone the whole time, and nobody ever knew it. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Don't judge me. I was young. I'm serious.
Oh, wow.
I'm serious.
You was catfishing yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Wow. And I said, yo, it was like, I think it had to have been after the 3rd or 4th conversation. I said, man, I can't do this. I said, I cannot do this anymore. Because this is morally wrong. And I stopped. I did. I stopped. I didn't get no explanation. I just stopped. I said, I can't do this. I don't know if she found somebody else. I don't know. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I knew that somebody's emotions was being played with hard.
Right.
And I couldn't do it no more.
Okay. That's all right. So how about today's weather?
You said what?
So how about today's weather, folks?
Yeah, how about today's weather? Yes, sunny out there in the Richmond, Virginia front, and we're just having a catfishing conversation. But for real, that dude Tuiasa Sopo, man.
Yeah, Yeah, he'd have got him a strong ass whooping.
A strong ass whooping.
Yeah, that done would have been personal and some more shit. They'd have knew it was me. Like, I would have been like, look, I'm coming to your crib. Where you at?
Exactly.
Where you at? Like, you ain't gonna catch no catfish ass whooping. I ain't gonna pay no other dude to do it. I'm gonna be out there.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be out there. Personally, I'm gonna be out there.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna pay some other dude to be a witness. But me personally, I'm gonna be there.
I mean, people was asking, I forget the chick name, but it was a national interview where the woman asked Manti Te'o, was he gay? Because they thought that he was in on it.
I had to pull a Jada laugh on that one.
And his parents was at the interview too. It's like, are you? He said he's in love with you. Are you gay? I was like, no. Oh shit.
That's when you know, like, over right there,
bruh.
Whole backstory, and that's it. Your parents gotta ask you. They ain't cared before, but they care now.
No, the parents didn't ask him. It was whoever show it was. The lady who was interviewing, literally, his parents was sitting next to him, but the lady literally asked, "Are you gay?" I was like, "Damn, bruh."
Now you about to have millions and millions of viewers being like, "Oh, shut your gay ass up."
Right, exactly, bruh.
But back then, media was a lot more forgiving. Nowadays, you can't say.
Well, media was. I mean, it was. This was early 2013. I don't know what to make of media now, because now you can't say shit without somebody getting hyper offended. You know, that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But that's why I say shit anyway, because I can say what the hell I want, and if it's not to offend anybody, if you take offense to it, I mean that's a you problem.
Yeah. It sounds like all the shit you got going on. But,
exactly. Exactly. But anyway, I'm so glad that you brought up catfishing, because I really did mean to touch on that situation. I mean, not literally touch, but
yeah, that'd be great.
I wanted to talk about that, but before we get off the phone, you know, we love boxing. Anthony Joshua had his rematch with Alexander Usyk in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. Late last year, Usyk shocked the boxing world by upsetting Anthony Joshua and taking 3 of his heavyweight championship belts. Well, the script was not flipped. Usyk won again. And Anthony Joshua, with a record now of 24-3, has lost his last 2 fights to the same person. Where do you think his career goes from here?
This is the time when you play that the toilet flushing joint. And, yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. Now you just need to flush it one more time, and then add a poop sound, and flush it one more time.
I'm going to put all that shit in the background, bro.
Yeah, you put all that in the background. To say his name, poop sound, flush it, poop one more time, flush it again. That's where it's at. But reality, if they wouldn't have drugged this out so long, over so many years, and they ruined these good fighters by making people wait, giving them these undercard fights, by like these undercarders who really shouldn't have had that shot, but then they shocked the boxing world by beating the champ ass. Then they give him a rematch. The champ might get that win in. Then they come to the rubber match and beat the champ ass again. Badly. It's worse than he did the first time.
This is another situation to me where boxing has gotten it completely wrong. 4 years ago, you had $100 million unification heavyweight fight at your fingertips between 2 then undefeated champions, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and for whatever reason, boxing ruined it. Promoters, networks ruined it. Mm-hmm. Now Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder have taken multiple L's. And then you had another chance at Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua at the O2 Arena Unification Heavyweight Championship fight. Boxing has ruined this.
Right. And Tyson Fury, last I heard about Tyson Fury trying to sign a contract with the WWE.
Yeah, for Tyson Fury is saying he's waffled back and forth about, hey, he's going to retire. I think if Anthony Joshua had won, I think that tune would have changed quickly. I don't know if now this dude, Alexander Usyk, he's undefeated. He has 3 belts. Tyson Fury has 1, but Tyson Fury is seen as the linear undisputed heavyweight champion.
Right.
It would be a big fight. Now, a class act, because the dude Usyk is from the Ukraine. And we all know what's going on with the situation in the Ukraine. After the fight was over, him and Anthony Joshua both held up the Ukraine flag and stood in unison, and I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was a class act.
That's classy. Yeah, that's classy.
That's classy. Now, for the sake of the Ukraine's morale, do you want to see Usyk versus Tyson Fury? I would, because it would be a unification fight. One champion, one division, one champion. You would have all of the belts. But as far as Anthony Joshua, I don't know where his career goes.
Again, poop, flush. That's it.
Boxing got it wrong. Now, I still think that Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder should fight. And it should be a heavyweight eliminator fight. Basically,
that's the most you can get out of it, because they pretty much ruined that man's career.
I mean, if you look at it like this, Deontay Wilder, his aura invincibility was shattered by Tyson Fury. So if Tyson Fury, if you have Joshua and Wilder fight, and you get the winner of that fight can get the winner of a Tyson Fury versus Usyk fight, I can buy into that.
Let's just say it's Deontay Wilder again, and then it's Tyson Fury again.
It could. I don't think anybody's gonna want to see that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's gonna want to see that, because we've seen it 3 times. But to both of their defenses, we couldn't get Joshua versus Wilder. The next best fight in the heavyweight division was Fury versus Wilder, and we got that 3 times to boxing's credit, even though they really blew it. When you could have had a heavyweight unification fight between 2 undefeated champions in 2018.
Right. That long ago.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done.
Now, Tyson Fury is saying that he may be retired, blase. I think he's as retired as the next written check for him is. If they say, hey, you'll get $50 million if you fight a unification fight with Usyk, he'll unretire quick.
Of course. He'll be in terrible fighting shape.
To be honest, given their styles are very similar. You know who Usyk fights like? To be honest with you, who he fights like? He fights like Sergio Martinez.
Another big heavy-handed man.
Not heavy-handed, but he's unconventional. He throws punches at different angles. He's the difficult fighter, because you never can. It's hard to get a rhythm fighting. Only person I saw really get a rhythm fighting Martinez was Cotto. But if you look at the style, they literally fight the same style, and that's hard. That's hard, man. Like, if Usyk and Wilder fought, I would watch it, but it would be no question Usyk would win.
Yeah.
And the only chance Deontay Wilder, he would have less of a chance against Usyk than he would against Tyson Fury, because Usyk is smaller.
Yeah, and Wilder's style favors him fighting a smaller fighter.
It doesn't. Wilder's style doesn't favor him fighting a boxer.
Yeah,
and Usyk is a boxer. That's why him and Anthony Joshua would be a great fight, because Anthony Joshua is a better boxer, but he got a weak chin.
Well, now that the time has moved on, his chin is kind of a bitch.
Well, Tyson Fury was like 270 pounds.
Fair.
And then he's leaning on him too, so but
you got a whole grizzly bear leaning on you.
Exactly. Exactly.
But he didn't have nothing. After a while, it's just like, look, that's what we were saying. That fight should have just happened.
Yeah, it should have happened.
It shouldn't have not been put off for 3 or 4 years, 5 years, whatever. It should have just happened. Give us what we want to see, and then let everything else sort itself out in the rest of the time. Again,
this is why UFC continues to get more attention, because Dana White puts together the best fighting the best all the time. Ain't nobody worried about no zero in the UFC.
No.
And speaking of which, Kamaru Usman, you got knocked the fuck out.
Last minute of the fight, night.
And here's the crazy thing about that. I was watching that because I had a long, hard day of work that day. I was watching the bitch, and I fell asleep before the main event.
And that's why I was like, when we talked about it, it's like, you're not a big UFC guy.
I'm not.
But like the women fight harder than the men do sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, now I watched like the big names like Usman, Conor McGregor, Masvidal. You know, what's her name? The chick that fought 2 weeks ago.
That's Nunez.
Amanda Nunes. Yeah, I watched them. I just fell asleep on this Usman Jones because I was that tired, bro. I came home, I got something to eat, and my black ass was gone. I think it was 2 fights before the main event, and I was out. And when I woke up and I saw that bitch, I went to YouTube and I saw that shit knocked clean the fuck out. You know you knocked out when you fall down flat. You can't move, but your eyes is wide open.
Mm-hmm. We called that strong front kick right to the motherfucking face. Down.
Down. I mean, because if bro had a hopped on him, he could have did some permanent damage to him. But he ain't need to.
No. All it takes is that one good assertive kick to the front of your face, bruh.
That motherfucker was out. I mean, he fell totally still, but his eyes was wide the hell open. Like his body was temporarily paralyzed.
Bro, he hit him with that front kick. Oh no.
And he caught him. He didn't even catch him with his foot. He caught him with his shin.
Yeah. Oh, because the shin, the hardest part of your leg.
I know.
You catch somebody to the face with your shin.
Ooh.
Unconscious.
Ooh.
And it was a vicious knockout. That's why they come and check on you. They stop the fight. They come and check on you, make sure there's no permanent damage.
Man, bro. All they needed was Chris Tucker to run in the octagon and say, "You got knocked the fuck out."
That's it. Because that's what it was. His body hit, body shut down.
Yep.
And he might was thinking in his mind, like, I'm going to get back up.
Shit.
We're going to check on you, make sure you didn't piss yourself.
Shit, exactly.
You ain't getting back up, bro. We just want to make sure you didn't die.
Exactly.
Make sure you ain't dead. Is you breathing? Your eyes open. We can tell you blinking and everything, but you ain't getting back up.
What's your name? Fight's over.
Yeah. He was done.
Done.
Vicious leg kick, front, pop, done.
Yep.
Over. Fight over. And it was a good fight. It legit was.
Well, but Usman was winning the fight.
Hey, well, you could be winning the fight, but it just takes something like that to just end the fight.
Yep, that's what happened. That's what happens.
Last minute of the fight, too.
Yep. But anyway, let me go ahead, bro.
Hey, bro, as always, you want to talk to me?
Oh, one more thing. Gonna do something with the podcast this football season to make it fun. I'm gonna create a league, just a prediction league. Like through the week, I'm gonna want your predictions for every game on a weekly basis. Even if I can't get you on the phone, just text message it to me. Sean is already in. My boy Tony's already in. My boy Marquise is already in. I know Calvin will be in.
Solid name.
Huh?
Solid name. Very few jokers.
Yeah. So exactly. So do you want in on it?
Yeah. Put me down on that.
All right. So just every week, just every Monday, just send me your picks. Send me your predictions. And like I said, if I can't get you on the line, I'll say it over the podcast, and I'll keep a record of it to see who wins at the end, and I'll figure out something to do for the winner.
For sure, bruh. As long as it's not the Desean Watson game, well, we know it ain't going to be Desean Watson. He ain't back till the Texans, and even I can predict that one already. It's going to be the Texans.
Wow, okay.
I could feel like there's going to be some girl that he still owe money to. There's going to be that one chick in the crowd that he didn't settle with, and she could be right there, and she's going to yell out at halftime, "He owed me money, and he showed his penis to me at halftime." And they're just going to drag his ass off the field. I feel like that's what's going to happen in the Texas game.
Oh.
In the game, he could be arrested. Then, Deshaun did that?
Hey, what if somebody has a poster up that just says he touched me during the Texas game?
Yeah, that's it. That's what's going to happen with Deshaun this season. He's going to be wearing that he could be wearing that helmet that has the black visor over it, so he can't see nobody.
You had that Willie Beeman helmet on.
The Beeman helmet, yep. His name is Toucher.
All right, bro. I'm going to get at you, homie.
All right, big dog. Take your time today.
Yes, sir. Oh, boy. Cutting David, man, he never lets me down. My goodness gracious. He never lets me down. But, yeah, I really did mean to speak on that Manti Te'o documentary because I'm telling you, the lengths that this Tuiasa Sopo person went to carry this out, and the whole notion, like I said, what really pissed me off was this person continually trying to justify their actions while acknowledging what they was doing was messed up. But in a weird way, my ass. That's just me. Because, and then you brought in a kid on it? Like, great day. So, anyway, watch the documentary. It's called Untold on Netflix. And the next caller, you guys know this you might as well call him the co-host. Tony, what up, bro?
Hey, what's going on?
NFL football preseason. What have your thoughts been?
It's the same thought as every other preseason. We're going to see a bunch of guys trying to make rosters. We're going to see a bunch of terrible play. It is what it is.
I mentioned this earlier before we got on the line, and I, told the listeners that me and you specifically would talk about this, of how there's nothing really interesting about the preseason because now players don't play. I mean, teams don't play their starters, and to me that makes, like you said, horrible play, and it also, to me, increases the chance of injury. It's just injuries that'll happen during the regular season, because as we were on the phone yesterday and we both agreed the best way to get in shape to play sports is to play actual sports against other competition.
Right. Yeah. As stated, it's a bunch of young guys, a bunch of fringe guys that maybe have journeyman type guys that are trying to fucking get a job, get a contract, a 1-year deal. And, for the most part, it's nothing. Like, it's this guy, a bunch of guys wearing a uniform that, the next week they may not, even be on anybody's roster. So, I guess from a fan expectation standpoint, all it is really getting people hyped for the real deal.
I mean, because the stadiums are not even halfway full.
Right. Yeah. So, I guess it's a good primer.
But I did see your guy, the guy from Dallas, the what was it, USFL guy?
Oh, he's gonna be a monster. Like, certain things like that are easily translatable. Now the problem is, I'll say it ahead of time for people, so that you don't get, because I noticed you like to, quote other Dallas fans, and these people don't know what they're talking about. He is kind of a one-trick pony. Otherwise, he'd have been in the NFL long ago. But in terms of, like, as a return man, he's a monster.
Well, I think
he's a monster. You win an MVP based on that, you're a monster.
Well, I think that he made the team that game against the Chargers. I think that cemented him as being on the team.
Plus, you can't teach fast. Like,
no, you can't teach fast.
You can't teach fast, and his speeds have been clocked close to Cheetah.
That's fast. That's fast.
Damn fast. So as long as you can hold on to the ball, you're going to be successful. They can find places for fast guys that do not turn the ball over. See, that's the key thing.
Yeah, that's it. Now, I mentioned this to you yesterday, and I just mentioned this to my cousin on the phone about the league that I'm putting together as far as the prediction league, and just want for the listeners to hear. You in on it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me explain that again. Every Monday, well, you already know. You more than anybody knows what's up because we did this all last season. We made our picks every Monday. So it's the same thing. It's just now I'll be keeping a record of your picks, my picks, David's picks, Sean's picks. I got my boy Marquise, Calvin, and I got to hit my boy Marcus up to see if he wants in on it too. So So we'll see. And I think this is going to be fun. Now, if everybody's able to give me their picks as far as on wax, then I'll probably have to do other Sports Plus Life relatable episode, like Sports Plus Life Talking Ish, like what me, you, and Sean have done. And we'll keep a record of what's happening, of who's been making the most correct predictions. So, I don't know. No, I don't want this to be the episode where we start giving predictions and division winners and all of this stuff. But what I will ask you this question, because I'm not sure if I asked you. No, I did ask you this last time, so I'm going to double down. Your sleeper team in the AFC is?
Sleeper team in the AFC is Chargers, man.
It was the Chargers. Now, you changed it from last time, and I had this recorded last time. Now, last time I asked you that question, you said the Dolphins.
Hold up. I did say Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Miami, because Chargers should make the playoffs anyway. So yeah.
Right, I don't think anybody's sleeping on the Chargers.
We're talking sleeper team Super Bowl or sleeper team
teams, just dark horse teams like playoffs.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Miami.
Okay, and I agreed with you. And your NFC team again was
Minnesota.
Okay, and mine was New Orleans. I'm seeing where you're coming from with the Minnesota thing, but I think the only difference between Minnesota and New Orleans as far as expectation is just at the quarterback position, and it's the most important position, obviously. But I think people are really sleeping on the New Orleans Saints because of the uncertainty with Jameis after this injury. They are again a loaded football team, which. Again, I believe at the end of this season, people will really be questioning, even though we already know the answer now, of why the hell Sean Payton decided to call it quits on a team that was this loaded. Now, we know now why, because they were trying to get to Miami, but Brian Flores blew that up. But I think the Saints are definitely going to overachieve. Matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they won that division. It wouldn't surprise me if they won that. It wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota won that division either, because now that I look at it, particularly offense to offense, Minnesota's offense should be way better than Green Bay's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is already having to have meetings with the wide receivers. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, life is good when you got Devontae, but
hey, life is good when you got Justin Jefferson too.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is good when you got Justin Jefferson. And also, that's another thing with the Saints. That guy from Ohio State, Chris Olave, is a beast, man. He's an effing monster. And I would not be surprised if they took out Tampa, if they won that division over Tampa. I mean, this offseason hasn't been a great one for Brady as far as his public image.
This is true. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, his public image has been what it's been. So it's not ever since the Flakegate. So I don't think anything really moves the needle. If you like Brady, you're still going to like him. If you hate Brady, you're still going to hate him. So.
Well, yeah, and now the last show that I didn't have you on it when I was asking about, because I was tripping off of, this was when the NFL had just handed down the suspension on the Dolphins for the tanking, not for the tampering thing, for the tampering thing. And I was just more like, nobody is really holding Brady accountable. Everybody's looking at Miami's owner. And I was like, do y'all not realize that Brady was in on this shit?
The problem is, from the players' union perspective, from the players' perspective, sort of like in the NBA, players can and will talk. You understand? And at the end of the day, there's nothing restricting them from doing anything. Their agents, yes, maybe, team representative, obviously, but the players themselves, they can sit and talk about playing together or get together all day.
No, absolutely right. And me and Calvin had this discussion, but clearly Brady wanted the narrative to be something different. That's why he retired, because he could have easily said, I don't want to play for Tampa no more. I want to play with Miami. But he clearly wanted and plus then there's the whole thing about him having ownership in the Dolphins. You can't do that if you're an active player. But the story would have been so heroic. Brady retires and then gets ownership in the Dolphins, and then says, no, I missed the game so much, I'm going to come back and play, when that was the plan all along.
Right. And then you could always kind of pin it on, even if you had conspiracy theories, you could always kind of pin it on maybe Arians or something.
Right, exactly. And it all makes sense, and this is why the Dolphins really wanted Stephen Ross wanted Flores to lose, wanted him to throw games. So he would tell Flores one thing, but if your whole plan was to get Tom Brady and Sean Payton, he was going to get fired regardless. It just would have looked easier had he had a losing record. You can say, well, see, I gave him 2 years or 3 years. He stunk. But instead, he had back-to-back winning seasons, and the Dolphins haven't had that in over 20 years.
Right.
And that's what blew the whole thing up. I mean, the plan... And to me, it vindicates everything Brian Flores said about the Dolphins. Now, as far as the interviews with the Giants and the Broncos, I don't know about that. But as far as everything that he said about the Dolphins, everything he said for all intents and purposes was true.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're claiming all this took place, afterwards, all this talk took place afterwards, well, they're not going to own the talk anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's
already been proven that the talk with Brady and Peyton and Stephen Ross have been taking place since 2019. This was taking place right before Brady's last season with the Patriots.
Again, though, it's that talk that can and will happen, and it's kind of hard to... I understand how long it's going to take, but it's kind of hard to from the Dolphins organization standpoint, to pin them necessarily. It's easy to make a direct line, but it's just as easy to kind of disprove it. It's just as easy to kind of, it's just a conspiracy theory.
Okay, well...
At the end of the day, these people could say, hey, we would have loved to, but there was never a really serious consideration with us. And then that's it. Then what else is there really to say unless you got them on tape colluding saying this?
Well, like I said, this hasn't been. It's
like saying Gronkowski retiring. Because he plans to come back and play, whatever, or player just in general. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of hazy because. Do you remember your boy switching sports when Magic retired? There was a lot of conspiracy theories about his retirement, that he was just retiring to do this or get out of a contract or something. I can't remember exactly what because it's been so long, but it proved to be all wrong because he never came back. So there's that.
Well, he did come back just 4 years later.
We talking about from the HIV thing, though.
Yeah.
And what was it? Was it him or it was?
I think you're talking about Michael Jordan, actually, because I remember hearing the conspiracy about Michael Jordan when he retired to go to baseball. That David Stearns asked him to take a leave of absence because the gambling thing was getting out of control or some shit. That I've actually heard that was like a conspiracy. That Jordan didn't want to leave, but because the way his father died and ties with his gambling, and that it would have looked bad because him being the arguably the most famous man in the world, that David Stern asked him to sit out to kind of let that air clear.
I heard that, but the person I'm talking about, the conspiracy theory was that he sat out to try to come back to go join another team.
No, that wasn't Magic. I heard that about Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. That's who it may have been.
Yeah. Barry Sanders sitting out from the Lions, so when his contract ran out, he could come back and play actually for the Dolphins. Actually.
Right.
Because Marino was still the quarterback. But, yeah. So, Rob Gronkowski didn't help no causes for Brady, because now you didn't find out that he was calling Derek Carr a motherfucker on the shop. But he kept it hush-hush, but that's stupid too. To me, that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, there was pictures that came out today with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving working out. So can this now officially bury the KD getting traded nonsense?
No one cares. No, unless you are a Brooklyn Nets fan, no one cares. Like, that doesn't mean much that that doesn't mean much. I don't think anybody cares one way or the other, unless, again, you're a Brooklyn fan, or perhaps the Lakers fan cares. But in the big picture, that type of stuff is photo op stuff. I mean, it's good for photo ops, and I mean, it is what it is. You know, maybe by quarter way through the season, mid-season, Kyrie will have done something Kyrie-ish again that puts that right back in the ether that Kyrie wants to be traded.
Well,
or want to trade Kyrie, and he'll be right back in the ether.
This is what I deduced this to, as far as Kyrie is concerned. Well, for one, I said earlier in the show again, reiterated my stance that I would not have drugged this out if I was Joe Sada, Nets owner. He'd have simply made a trade demand, and I'd have simply said no. The same way the Cleveland Browns made it short and sweet with Kareem Hunt when he requested to be traded 2 years ago. They said no. He ain't heard shit about it since. I would have handled it like that. Now, with LeBron James signing this extension, now, you know, a lot of this stuff is for content only. When he signed that 2-year extension with the Lakers, the first thing I was hearing, Kyrie's on the way. They're going to get that deal made. No, they're not. Kyrie will not be a Laker this season. He'll be a Laker next season. You have to connect the dots. Kyrie is on a 1-year deal. Well, he opted in on his player option. 1-year deal. Russell Westbrook did the same thing. Opted in player option. Westbrook and Kyrie will be free agents after this season. Kyrie will be a Laker next year, not this year, unless Brooklyn pays him what he wants.
Right.
And for the Lakers, for all intents and purposes, we're stuck with Westbrook for another year.
To be honest, depending on how that team went, depending on Kyrie's disposition, I might push that ahead of time to try to get an asset out of it. I might push it early on, push that narrative early on to try to move him.
The only team that was showing any type of interest that would have given you an asset was the Lakers, and it was an asset they didn't want.
Right.
They didn't want Westbrook. And who cares about 2027 draft picks? Who the hell cares? That's not if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, that's no asset to me. I don't give a damn what happens 5 years from now when I have aging players on my team who are still superstars, but KD will be 34 when the season starts. And that's your best player. I don't give a damn about player of draft picks that'll be available at the end of his contract. No. Russell Westbrook's stock has plummeted so badly that nobody wants him. That's why the hell do you think he opted in for $47 million? Because he ain't getting it nowhere else. And he knows that this is probably his last big payday for an individual season, because unless Russell Westbrook has a humongoid bounce back season, the only teams that I could see will sign him would just be looking for ticket sales.
I think you're probably right there, but I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that need ticket sales, so yeah, I can see it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about no contender. I'm talking about a downtrodden team, not even a team that could potentially be on the come up. Like Cleveland wouldn't sign him. Detroit would not sign him. I could see a team who's really struggling with attendance, and they just need some kind of face to go with their friend. Like I could real talk, I could see him going back to Washington. Because at least with Washington, he played well with Bill, and they did make the playoffs.
Right.
I could see a team like that, where he would actually be the best version of himself and would kind of be under the radar, where he wouldn't get the national pub that he's been getting with the Lakers.
Right.
Because what you're finding out is big market teams ain't for everybody.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Probably only Washington.
I mean, for real. Only Washington. And that's if Bradley Beal doesn't eventually demand to be traded, but his would be understandable because he's given his heart and soul for a decade to that team. So, or Damian Lillard. who's given his heart and soul to a team for a decade. That's understandable. But yes, I'm putting all of that stuff to bed. I'm actually interested in seeing what the Nets will look like with KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. I mean, for all intents and purposes, now this is what I said I would do, Tony, just to be petty. Because you know how I stood as far as if I was the owner, I would tell his ass, I'm not trading you nowhere. Just for the fact that you tried to big boy me in London, giving me an ultimatum, I would tell him then, so now you want to be, so now you want to be funny. All right, well, check this out. I would have thought about trading you after this season. I just wanted to see what you, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons would look like. But since you want to try to strong arm me, I ain't trading you, period.
Yeah, I think that, you know my opinion already about this whole plantation mentality. Players with that, you don't own me. Yeah, they do though. They own the professional version of you. No, they don't own the personal you. But they own the professional version. That's why you're getting paid millions of dollars.
Right, and I'm all for player empowerment, but I'm also for
basketball. Yeah, anything involving basketball. Yeah, they pay you. You signed a contract.
Right.
You are, yes. You're on their plantation until you're not.
Right, and I'm all for player empowerment, and I don't like to see things from a plantation standpoint, but I am a fan of keeping your word. Your word is your LeBron James. Everybody says he is the face of player empowerment, but LeBron James has played out every contract in his professional career. Every one of them. Whether he's going to Miami or Cleveland or the Lakers, he's never demanded to be traded. He's waited till his contract was up, till his obligation was up, and then made his decision from there. You can't say that about a lot of these players. Well, I'm not even going to say a lot. You can't say that about Anthony Davis or James Harden or Ben Simmons.
Right. Yeah, this much is true. I'm a fan of that too. You know, that's why I can't say you're on a plantation, bro. You signed up to be on that plantation. You got millions of dollars to be on that plantation, and so yeah, I look at they make the plantation reference. I prefer indentured servant.
Okay.
Indentured servant. You signed the contract. You wanted to, come to America or whatever, and that was your vehicle to get here. Well, you signed the contract to work X amount of years in order to do that. So that's kind of how I look at it in terms of the professional sports. You getting these hefty contracts in order to dribble a basketball, throw a football, whatever it is. You're not beholden that. You could always retire if you felt like you were on some enslaved status by this contract. Just retire.
Like Barry Sanders.
Just retire. Go do something else with your life, and then you're a free man. How about that?
Yeah. Or I don't know if you remember this. I'm sure you do. Or Deion Sanders.
But like Latrell Sprewell and Plaxico Burress, you need that extra $5 million because you can't feed your family. What the hell are you eating? Platinum chips?
I mean, for real. I mean, even back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were still getting. I mean, the economy was totally different, so they were very well compensated players.
You get more money than most will see, over the course of a lifetime.
I mean, hell, $100 million contracts for the NBA players is almost a 30-year thing now.
Right.
Because what, Shaq signed a $100 million deal with the Lakers in '96? That was 26 years ago. So this ain't nothing new. Just what are you doing with your dollars? But like I said, you see how, remember 2 weeks ago, Kareem Hunt said he wanted to be traded. Cleveland said no. That was it.
Roquan Smith want to be traded.
Chicago said no. Now he just reports to training camp. So, yeah, they got to get it together. They definitely got to get it together. Did you see Usman get knocked the fuck out?
No.
Oh, man. You at least got to check that out on YouTube. And I'm not even a UFC guy. But Kamaru Usman was pound for pound the best in the world in UFC, ranked pound for pound best in the world. Got slept. He got put to sleep. You know you get put to sleep when you fall and you out, but your eyes is wide open?
Yeah.
I'm serious. Bro. I mean, sir, it was a good fight. Now, I was watching it on the FS, but I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep for the main event, but I was able to catch the whole thing on YouTube because I was tired Saturday night. I had it on, but after I ate, my ass was just done. But man, he was winning the fight, and it was only seconds left in the fight, and bro hit him with a left kick right in the jaw. And this motherfucker just dropped motionless, but his eyes was wide the fuck open. I was like, you got knocked out when you can't move, and your eyes is open, and you just had that lost look in your face. I'm serious. I was like, damn. So you got to check that out, man.
Yeah, I'll pull it up on YouTube and see.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like, a lot of times when they in UFC, when you knock somebody down, they jump right on you and start punching you in the face.
Right.
He ain't even need to do that, bro. As soon as motherfucker hit the mat, the referee stopped the fight. I'm dead serious, man. As soon as motherfucker hit the mat, the referee waved it off. Said no. Cause
he heard that thwack and saw the look in his eyes. And
yes.
He was out on his feet.
Yeah. No, he wasn't out on his feet. He was out on his ass because he didn't. I'm telling you, it was no stumble from the kick. It was hit. It was kick down. That was it. And the reaction it was one of those classic reactions where everybody in the arena could not believe what the fuck they just saw. Because if you just look at the reaction of the commentators and the crowd behind them, it was one of them things where as soon as it happened, everybody's eyes got wide as saucers and their jaw hit the floor.
Because you winning the fight until the last few.
Yeah, he was winning the fight. He was gonna win the decision.
Avoid the man. All you had to do was avoid the man for a few seconds, and then you win the fight. Huh?
That's it. Like when it was like when Pacquiao got caught by Marquez, or like when Michael Moore got caught by George Foreman. You just didn't see it coming. I mean, I'm talking about as a fan. You really didn't expect to see that happen. I mean, he was winning the fight and then got caught. Seconds left, bang, out. For real. Out.
And that's what overconfidence will do.
Well, I mean,
guard up, son.
Well, all it did was just set up a third fight, which is gonna make millions and millions of more dollars. And during the press conference, Usman called Dana White and said, "Don't worry, next fight I'm gonna kill him." Like literally kill him. Nah, that's just your feelings talking.
Yeah, you should have killed him the first fight. You wouldn't have had that problem, right?
You still woozy. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, I just wanted to check in with you, bro. So remember, the first week of the league, of the prediction league, I'm going to hit you up that month, probably Labor Day. Yeah. I'm going to hit you up Labor Day because football starts that week. So we'll go from Thursday's game, Rams versus Bills, which should be a great game. Because you see the Bills have played Josh Allen. He did play during the preseason.
I saw that. What is it, 3-3? Or something like that?
Well, whatever it was, I mean,
I'm never saying that they did, in fact, play him.
Yeah, he shredded our second string defense.
Yeah.
He did. He shredded. But then, again, I really wish Nathaniel Hackett would put Russell Wilson in at least for a series. Give me a series. Because for all intents and purposes, when we play Seattle Monday night, Drew Lock and Geno Smith are going to be more ready to play because they've been playing. They don't know who's going to be the starter yet.
Right.
But that's all right. Give Drew Lock a quarter. He'll fuck it up. That's his MO.
That's your boy, man. Why you hating on your boy?
Fuck him. I'm so glad he's gone. Oh, I couldn't stand his ass. Remind me of Jay Cutler. Just make me want to throw up. Ugh. So glad he's gone. I'm serious. He remind me of Jay Cutler. Just make me want to puke. But I wish Hackett would put Russell out for a series, at least one. But yes, we'll start off with the Thursday game, hit all the Sundays and the Monday night game. Can't wait. Dog days of summer is almost over. Thank you, Jesus. I ain't got to pay attention to many more baseball highlights as my New York Yankees continue to nosedive. But yes, brother. And you good though, homie?
Yeah.
All right. Any pardon shots?
No. Other than what we covered, I mean, that's pretty much everything. This is a kind of a lull period. So.
Oh, one more thing. Did you see the Manti Te'o documentary?
No.
You remember that situation?
Yeah.
The catfishing thing?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into detail in it again. All I'm gonna say is it's the show Untold on Netflix. It's a 2-part documentary.
And that's worth watching?
Yes, it is. And I tell you why. Because when you find out the extent of what this dude, Tuiasa Sopo, did to continue to pull this off, bruh. All I'm going to tell you is even 10 years later, I would still try to find that dude and beat the living shit out of him. I'm serious. When you see the extent of what he went through to pull this off, bruh deserves a special ass whipping.
Wow.
I told my cousin, I just wish somebody would pull up to him with a plastic bottle full of piss and just hit him in the head and just keep it moving.
Bottle full of piss.
Yes, and just keep it and just keep it moving. I'm serious, bruh. Like, I felt so bad for Manti Te'o after watching that shit. I'm like, damn, bro, ruined your life. Then I felt even worse because I went to a Eagles-Chargers game 2013, his rookie season, and I had a poster that I had written on, and I had written something about catfishing.
Wow.
I know, man. Lord has made me such a better person over the years.
There's a lot of that going on out here.
I don't mean to laugh, but I'm serious. Well, anyway, I'm going to hit you up, man.
All right, man.
All right, bro. All right. Oh, man. I'm just being honest. Oh, man. I keep getting to the Manti Te'o thing, but, you know, it is what it is. My man Tony. There was a little lull today, but, you know, said dog days of summer. And last but not least is my broski, Sean. What up?
What's going on with your player?
Man, look, I mean, I got to get you and David on a 3-way. I do. I had David on here earlier, and David was at his asshole best.
Mm-hmm.
He really was. But anyway, what's happening with you?
Ain't nothing, man. Yes, you can hear trying to do these bitches.
Hey, I hear you, bro.
But I got you, player.
I hear you. All right, well, again, I've mentioned this twice with the other two callers, David and Tony. And Sean, I've already talked to you about the prediction league that I'm starting up for Sports Plus Life. We just going to get this on wax. You in, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so just on Mondays, whether I can get you on the phone or whether you just have to text them to me, I'm just going to need your picks. If you're on the phone, you can say them on the podcast or I can say them for you, but I'm going to keep up a record while I school you niggas in the art of prediction.
You think so, nigga?
While I school you niggers on the art of predicting football.
We shall see it, my bro Hammett.
Now, if I win, I'm just going to brag on y'all. Now, if y'all win, I'm going to try to find something better to give y'all the credibility.
Right.
I might even go out and there's a trophy store literally right up the block from me. I might see how much it costs to make a trophy.
Yeah.
I think that'll be cool. Something fun. But Philadelphia Eagles, they have played their starters, their first preseason game against the Jets, and that cheap shot that was put on Jalen Hurts. I don't blame Sirianni for losing his shit. But how do you think y'all have looked so far?
Oh, man, everybody looked good. You know, AJ was a little tight that Jalen ain't passed him the ball a little bit. But, you know, that was all choreographed by Jalen. But, you know, because everybody wanted to see that connection. So I'm sure he did that just to piss a couple of people off and have them wait until the beginning of the season. But all in all, everything went as planned. Defense got a turnover. gave the ball back to us. We scored off the turnover. Jalen went 6 for 6, hit a couple of people. It looked good with the passing on the run out of the pocket. The line looked solid. Cam Jurgens was looking Kelsey-like, which is good, just in case. I mean, he's supposed to be a replacement for it. Looked like he's going to be an excellent replacement for us. Jordan Davis was looking like a monster. And Kobe Dean was doing what he's supposed to do. Our secondary, I mean, everything was tight, man. I couldn't be more excited for the season. But again, it's preseason, so you can't get too excited. But they look good, man.
They do look good. The Philadelphia Eagles do look good. I'm going to temper my expectations on them because the Eagles are one of those teams that whenever they have lofty expectations, I think about 10 years ago, Vince Young, Dream Team, blah, 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 blah. But what I like what Sirianni appears to be doing is staying with the identity that y'all had success with last season, toting that rock. Boston Scott looked good yesterday, too. He did. Boston Scott looked good. I keep forgetting that y'all got bro from the Colts. Damn it, what's his name?
Zach Pascal.
Zach Pascal, yeah. Yeah, so deep squad. I'll be looking forward to looking at y'all week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Now, one of my issues with preseason is that teams now have gotten so scared to play their starters. Like I said, I applaud it. Even though y'all just played Jalen Hurts for one drive, I applaud it. I applauded when Daniel Jones played pretty much the whole first quarter. I applaud when even Josh Allen was smoking my damn second string defense. Like, this is why, and I've said this to you before, you can't get in shape to play football without playing football against other competition.
Absolutely.
And we wonder why in the first 3-4 weeks of the season, why we see bad offensive play, no camaraderie, or players getting hurt. Because they're not really in shape to play football. So I wish that Nathaniel Hackett, damn, Nathaniel Miller's a dude we went to school with. I wish that I wish Nathaniel Hackett would put Russell in at least for a series, bro.
Yeah.
Just to, because like I said, you guys have played your starters. We haven't seen Devontae or Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
But just because it works for Sean McVay doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else. That's all.
Absolutely.
Just because it works for McVay doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. But yes, this prediction league is going to be fun. Let's see. I know you're in, David's in, Calvin's in, Tony is in. My boy Marquise is in, so I just gotta hit up Marcus and see if he's in, and I will commence with schooling you niggas making picks.
Well, you think you're gonna school us, but
now this is just for regular season. Now we can do something else for the playoffs. Just for regular season.
Okay.
So every Monday, I'm gonna need about 15, 16 picks from you, and this should be fun.
Yeah.
This should definitely be fun. But I just wanted to touch base with you, Brody. Next time I'm gonna I will be on a little longer. This is probably about a 2-hour episode today. One more thing.
Yeah.
And this is kind of on the spot. What did you think of Desean Watson, the ultimate decision of 11 games?
That was, everybody pretty much knew it was going to be somewhere around there. Most people wanted a whole season, 11 games. I think the NFL just wanted to look like it really wanted to try, get her to do her thing, and then like, hey, we're going to look a little better by adding a little bit more onto it, which, 11 games is 11 games. The man ain't played all last year. He did his thing. Like any other player, he's serving his time. He took it. Even though they say he ain't showing contrition because he said that, he still stands on his innocence. Everybody knows what's going on with it. Everybody do their thing. I'm sick of seeing it on TV, bro. Man,
exactly.
Get his thing, do it. If they're going to let him play, they're going to let him play anyway. Ever forget about it or either, don't watch it, don't tune in. What you going to do? I'm just sick of seeing it on TV.
Yeah, and here's what I'm saying. This was to the people that are constantly getting mad because he hasn't shown any contrition or he hasn't shown any remorse. When you have a situation like this and you have claimed that you're innocent the entire time, why are you going to show remorse to make you look guilty?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what people need. Like if you have good legal representation, they're going to tell you, okay, you claimed you're innocent. Okay, maintain your innocence. Let us do the rest of the talking.
Absolutely.
It's like they want him to come out and say, hey, I'm sorry for what I did, so then they can criminally try your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you expect a man to say?
Exactly. I mean, I honestly, I found it kind of funny, not funny of the situation, but as soon as the 11-game suspension, he was like, I stand on my innocence. I was like, he ain't wasting no time.
Yeah.
He said, I stand on that. I apologize to women all over. Not them. I apologize to women. I'm like, damn, bro. Yeah. Now it's somebody from Cleveland. It's time for somebody from Cleveland to pull him to the side and be like, okay, now you can shut the hell up.
Yeah, you just shut the hell up and play football now. It's over and done with. Let's just roll. But they're going to try to bring it out of him sooner or later. But he just needs to say, everything is being dealt with. We already got to the conclusion. Just next question is about football. I'm not speaking on this.
Exactly. And
leave it at that.
As opposed to what he did in his one preseason game, if any Cleveland Browns fan think that when he get in there, they're going to be lights out, yeah, it's going to be lights out because they see it finna be over. You have to play football to be sharp in football. But anyway, all right, bro, I'm going to get at you.
All right, bro, no doubt.
Yes, sir. It's almost football time.
You know it.
All right.
Bring it. All right.
Go. I had to get my broski on there. See what happens when I take a week off. I end up having long-ass episodes like today. But with that being said, wear the buzzer with a buzzer with a buzzer. Oh, I cannot wait till this season starts, and I really am excited about this prediction league that we're going to have in Sports Plus Life. So, like I said, I can school these dudes on the art of predicting football. You heard it here first. August 22nd, 2022. I said that shit. But anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful wonderful week. It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. Definitely don't hesitate to hit that subscription button. Don't hesitate to hit that like button. Become part of the Sports Plus Life family. I'm out this bitch. Peace. Love ya.